Burgundy Ballers, welcome back to another episode of the Ballin in Burgundy podcast. Yeah, I've got a full house along with me. I got Andrew, Chris, and Justin all on the B. We got all four of us here at BIB. Fellas, what's up?
What's up? What's up?
What's up, guys?
What's up? What's up? And we do have a guest, and we might have guests later on. Before we get that, don't forget to like and subscribe here on the channel. Head over to Instagram, TikTok, and now our Twitter account or X account, whatever you want to call it. Follow us all over there, whether it's mock drafts, content, collaborations, you name it. We're going to do it in the offseason, and we're going to have some heat content. So let's get into it. Please welcome part of the Cowboys Can Fan podcast, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcast, they are there. Please welcome Mr. Alex Johnson from Cowboys Can Fan podcast. Alex, what's going on?
What's up? What's up? Thanks for having me, and I'll represent Cowboys Can Fan, so I can say us, having us on today. Appreciate it. Happy to talk some Sunday night football.
Absolutely. Hey, nothing wrong with that. And we all know why we're here. Let's get into it. One final game in the 2023 season for at least for the Commanders, and then for the Ron Rivera era as a 4:25 Sunday primetime game. Cowboys come to Washington, where it'll be a home crowd for them, as it always is when you go to FedEx Field, to take on us Commanders. If we lose, we get number 2 overall. If Cowboys win, they get the NFC East. It's gonna be an absolute interesting game. It's not going to be a good game. It's going to be very interesting because the rumors right now are the Commanders are going to sit a few people. They're going to sit Jonathan Allen. They're going to sit Cam Curl. They're going to sit Kendall Fuller. They're going to sit Curtis Samuel, all because they're vets, try to keep them healthy. That's the rumors I've heard based on injury reports. Do I think it'll happen? No. But the rumors are rumors. It's going to happen. So, Alex, what do you think is going to happen going on Sunday when you come to FedEx Field?
Okay, well, I'll speak about the boys really quickly, just because it definitely is a subject that people have been throwing around. Number one, it kind of coincides with this belief that Cowboys should look to lose to get that number 5 seed instead of the number 2 seed, because they believe that the potential options, if we're number 5 of who we're playing, is better in terms of how the Cowboys are playing, or how those teams are playing, at least at the end of the season. And because of that, there's some people who say we should rest players for the playoffs, and I certainly do believe in that. But for the Cowboys, it's like, no, you win, you have stuff to prove here this season. We can't hand the title back to the Eagles, and I'm not sure if you guys are at least with us. Like, we don't want anyone in the NFC East to go back-to-back division winners. So, like, maybe you're on the same board there. But it's a lot different for Washington, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have that number 2 seed at the moment.
Or number 2 pick.
Number 2 pick, sorry, yes. Well, hey, can look at it both ways. But I for me, that's so much more valuable than winning. And now, maybe not personally, but for a team, right? It makes more sense. Now, how do you not throw in the towel but still lose a game?
Right.
Well, I think you do what maybe people in Washington are talking about. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like, let's test out some pieces who are going to go out there, and the players are going to play hard, but let's kind of sit anyone who's like just not. We don't need to see more footage on them. We don't need to discover if there's someone who we're going to be bringing back next year. That's how I would do it. So, like, those players are going to go out and try to win, but you just don't give your team the best opportunity, because the win or loss doesn't give you any more benefit, or the win. Sorry.
No, you're right. I'm kind of agreeing with you on the rumors to sit your key players. And I want to see a Mitchell Tinsley, who's been on practice squad all year. I want to see a Cole Turner, who's been inactive most of the year. I want to see an Andre Jones Jr., who you had a 6th round draft pick on as a linebacker edge. I want to see him. I want to see Fedarian Mathis, fucking 2nd pick last season, get some playing time. Andrew, you and I are on the same wavelength. What are you thinking?
Man, I struggle with knowing his struggle this year. It's been painful to watch. After his injury, he just didn't come back the same way that he was
Yep.
playing before. He's supposed to be our big nose tackle run stuffer who's going to completely obliterate the other team's run game. And it's basically the other way around this season. They're running all over our defense. So I feel like I think he has a chance of coming back and being a really good player. But it's also hard to see that after seeing his awful production since he's come back. So I don't know, rooting for him next year maybe, but yeah, a little painful to see.
A little painful. Chris, what are you thinking?
Aye, let's get it. Let's get it. It's just me, Oos.
Ayo.
No, let's see. Honestly, let's use this as like a fourth preseason game in a type of way, you know? Let's get some guys out there that we haven't seen play, you know? And then next thing you know, if they make a play, we'll all be like, yo, where the hell was this guy at all damn year, bro? Like, come on now.
Yeah.
We'll be saying that. But, I mean, no, let's use this like a fourth preseason game, you know? Play some guys, for maybe like, a couple of drives and then, get them out of the game and then get some of the new guys in there. Except for Sam Howell, obviously, because, we need our boy Sam Howell, to hit 4,000 passing yards somehow. I need him to hit Terry McLaurin early in the game, like 54 yards,
Yeah,
and Terry has that 1,000 yard season. I don't know if B-Rob is playing. Is B-Rob playing on Sunday? As of right now?
So far, I haven't heard anything. He was
He's cleared, right?
Looks like he's good. He wasn't on the injury report.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think this is like the first time we really get to see B-Rob versus the Cowboys, right? I mean, other than Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Thanksgiving week 18 from last season.
Yeah, I mean, I like to see what he does because I want to see if B-Rob has the ability to and we've seen this before, where we think he gets stuff, but then keeps moving it and moving it. So I want to see if he'll be able to do that against Dallas this Sunday. But yeah, no, we definitely need to go in this game. Obviously, I want us to win. So I don't even care about the second round or second overall pick. Because it's like Santana Moss said, if you don't make the playoffs, but you beat Dallas, you had an okay season. So I take it.
Yeah,
I respect that you stand on business with that against majority opinions. So
he's staying on business. Justin, what you thinking?
Oh, I'm thinking we're tanking this game. We want Caleb Williams. There's been numerous rumors that ownership is very high on Caleb Williams as 2024 quarterback for us. So I'm thinking I want to sit all these veterans to lose this game and see what the younger guys have in store. I mean, we got guys who haven't even played an NFL game that's been here for 2-3 years,
Yeah.
I just don't get why they don't get playing time, but hey, Ron will be Ron, right?
Ron will be Ron. I mean, it'll be Ron's last hoorah. It'll be his one final stance to say, well, I could still coach NFL. No, he can't.
No, he just did a
Sit him
press
down.
conference. He just did a press conference the other day, and he asked, "What happens if Washington moves on?" And he just kept quiet and said, "When it's time, or something like that." But here's my thing, though. I think the reason why John Allen's being benched is because he's going to get traded this offseason. A lot of these guys are free agencies or free agent. Kendall Fuller.
Yep.
Campbell.
Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, you could tag trade. Exactly. You could tag trade Carl, but, just let him walk at this point.
Yeah. That's fair. Well, another key piece going into this game is we have no Pro Bowlers. No one from Washington made a Pro Bowl. Cam Kroll came 10th at safety, and Terrell Burgess came 3rd at special teams, while Alex and the boys Cowboys, my apologies. Cowboys, my apologies.
Hey, it's all right. You guys have gone through a lot of name changes over these last few years. So It happens.
My guy. You got a few Pro Bowlers. You said you got Dak Prescott. You got CeeDee Lamb, who I will give credit has had a fantastic season and is a top 6 wide receiver in the league currently constructed. I'll give props to that. You have Zach Martin, who will be a Hall of Fame guard. It's almost locked in at this rate on defense. You guys got Michael Parsons, obviously. You've got Deron Bland, who is the interception leader this season. And you have Brian Anger, your punter, and Brandon Aubrey, your place kicker, who has been on my fantasy team and has done me some service. So I appreciate Brandon being damn good for the Cowboys. But yeah, you guys have had a lot of Pro Bowlers. You guys have to think of the second highest outside of San Fran, at least for the NFC side.
Yeah, the only one that is a little bit. I mean, thing is, I don't pay attention to a lot of offensive lines across the NFL, but Tyler Smith has had an awesome season being drafted as a tackle and then slipping into the guard position and holding down that spot. Really was a gift for the Cowboys, because otherwise he would have been an excellent tackle, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But definitely we needed someone in that slot, and he came in and played. But I'm sure that there's other great guards out there that I just don't even know their names. So that's the only one that was kind of like would have liked to see him on there. But
yeah,
everyone else who made it there, it makes sense. And a fun fact about Brandon Aubrey, he will more than likely either tie or beat Emmitt Smith's total points record that Emmitt Smith set. So total points, 150 points he set. Brandon Aubrey has 149. So if he if he gets an extra point, he'll tie it. If he gets 2 extra points or a field goal, he'll be the season point scoring leader for the Cowboys. So kudos to Aubrey. Great rookie kicker, because I don't know if he's officially allowed to be considered a rookie coming from the USFL. I don't know if that's true or not, but regardless, first season in the NFL, so good start.
Hey, good on him though. And he'll probably break that because you'll probably at least have 2 or 3 touchdowns against us. There's 3 points right there.
Yeah, exactly, or just one 30-yard field goal or something.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. The other 2 guards who made the Pro Bowl were Chris Lindstrom from the Falcons, who's been an excellent guard the past few years, and Landon Dickerson for the Eagles, a nice young guard the past few years out of Bama. So normally when they do offensive line Pro Bowl selectees, they get that right almost 100% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, no complaints. I was just hoping to see him there. And I'm sure that's probably very good company. It sounds like it.
Yeah, good on them. Yeah, we got no Pro Bowls. I mean, Rio said the other day we got shut out, and rightfully so. No one played well enough on this team. I wouldn't give Jamin Davis a pass. He didn't play well. I wouldn't give Sam Cosmi a Pro Bowl nod or a Pro Bowl snub because we've been so bad, it's been lost in the shuffle.
That's where I'm going to disagree with you. I mean,
yeah.
Our offensive line has been awful. I'm not saying they haven't, but I feel like you can't pin that all on one guy. What was that stat you sent us again? There was something crazy like the last bunch of weeks he's allowed no sacks and like 2 pressures or something.
Sam Cosmi.
It was something insane. Like he's been shut out. He's been
that guy.
He has been.
I really do believe that he deserved a Pro Bowl this year, and the rest of the line just isn't playing even remotely close to his level. So,
well, no offense, when you're on a bad team, people don't care. You could have a Hall of Fame season; they're not going to vote you in the playoffs.
Nope.
Or not playoffs, but the Pro Bowl.
Yep.
It's
sad.
If we were in the playoffs, I'm pretty sure, Cosmi would probably made the guard spot.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair enough. I mean, Sam wasn't going to get one. Terry wasn't going to get one. Jonathan Allen, Payne, they weren't going to get one. I mean, the only one who might have had a shot is Tress Way, but I think because of how bad the long snapping has been, they associated his bad punting with Cheeseman, who's now since been cut. So it is what it is. I'm not honestly mad at it. Because I think, even Alex, I think you might attest to this. Pro Bowl doesn't mean anything anymore. It's more just a participation trophy.
Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, I'm sure for the players it means something, but I think we were talking about, I don't know if this was actually on the show or just behind the scenes we were talking about this, but it felt a lot different roughly say 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It felt like a football game. It felt like, but here's my theory is we're just going to continue to see this. We're seeing a lot in the rules that are implemented. They're doing their best to make sure that like there is zero chance of off playing field injuries, and
Yeah.
as much as they are trying to limit injuries on the field during playing time, but they'll do everything they can to cut down the injury risk, and it makes sense.
It makes
with
sense.
The amount of money that's being invested now in these players, and that's how the teams look at this, right? Yes, we're dealing with human beings, but it's like, no, I'm not going to have a chance that my $50 million a year star is going to hurt his ACL in a meaningless game at the end of the season, meaning he's out for the entire next season. Like, they're not even going to play with that, right? And so I get it. I do wish there was a way that we could like see those, because those are like all-star teams. This is everyone's dream when you play Madden or whatever. It's like, I want to make my own team, and you want to see how these guys really play football together. But I wonder if they're going to be, with this edition of flag football in the Olympics, I wonder if they're going to be like, maybe we just turn this whole thing to flag football. It's still not going to stop those non-contact injuries, which are the scariest ones.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, we'll see. It's something I used to watch it every year. Now I like some aspects of the skills competition, but mostly I'm going through Twitter or something, looking for people who've clipped something that's funny for me. That's where I the All-Star game. I call it All-Star game. But
I mean, it's fair. To me, it doesn't mean anything anymore. Like you said, even 10 years ago, there was a big difference. Guys were putting in effort. Now look at last year. Like 60 guys who got brought to the Pro Bowl just didn't outright go. Yeah. Why do you think a Tyler Huntley got a Pro Bowl last year? Because no one was going to the Pro Bowl.
Yep.
And I mean, Andrew, Chris, Justin, you guys know the Chiseled Honest. Shout out to Chiseled. Go watch the last episode with him. It was a blast to record with him. But he said it before, make it incentivized. They're just playing for donation money. Whatever the Pro Bowl makes, they just donate, or it goes back into the NFL fund.
Yeah.
Make it mean something. The winning team should make $500,000 a piece, or make $1 million a piece. Cool. If you've had fines this offseason, they've just paid you back. If you had a suspension without pay, they just paid you back. Or if they say, hey, half the money this team makes will go to charity, other half you guys keep. Means something.
Yeah.
But like the last memorable Pro Bowl hit or play was what the Sean Taylor hit. I mean, it's a little biased because we're Washington fans, but when was the last time someone said you need to go watch this Pro Bowl? They just lit someone up.
What would you think? First of all, let me get one of these, and I knew something was wrong. Crack them if you got them. Let's
there you go.
Cowboys. What would you think of this though? If there was a pool, make it math easy, $1 million, and everyone gets some of that, but then you incentivize play. So if you get a touchdown, you get 10,000, or if you get 100 yards, you get 25. Whatever makes sense, but incentivizing players to like just push that little extra bit. Maybe 100 yards is too much for a game like that, but make some sort of incentive to play. And then if no one wins that money, it can be distributed through everyone or charity, whatever makes sense, or 50-50. But I think that there's something there for that, because there are a lot of guys who are playing in that who maybe on their first contract, I guess. And so that extra money, that's a good chunk for them. I guess guys who are in that CeeDee Lamb, or Dak Prescott, rate, they're already in their second contract. Might not incentivize them too much, but it might be enough if they have some gambling debts or something they got to pay off.
Well, I mean, young guys who have low contracts. Like Brock Purdy, who is the top NFC quarterback in the Pro Bowl this year. It's Brock Purdy's there. Kyron Williams, the second-year running back of the Rams, Puka Nacua. young rookie sensation. Sam Laporta, young rookie sensation. On defense, Hutchinson, young rookie sensation. Deron Bland even could use, a little bit of extra money. Julian Love could make a little bit. Rashid Shaheed and Aubrey can make a little bit. Like you said, 10, 15, $20,000 even extra. Great. That's, a car payment. That's rent for some of these places you live. That's rent for 2 months. That's groceries for a month. That's, a lot of stuff right there. But doesn't mean
exactly.
Got Justin, Chris, Angie, y'all want to get in on this?
Man, those are all great ideas. I've never really thought that deep about it. I just started watching. I'm like, man, they're not really trying, are they? But yeah, I mean, throw some money in there, say, hey, ball out, earn some money. I'm sure people do it. That would work. But I mean, Alex, you had a good point. Like, you don't want people getting hurt at the end of the season. And these are also like just not regular players. These are Pro Bowlers. They're the team stars. So yeah, I mean, I can understand both sides, but it's fun for the viewers when you get to see, best of the best lined up against each other and how they perform under those conditions. So 100%.
I agree with you. Another idea is sitting there and getting the two worst teams play each other. I get it'll be painful, but at least they'll try. or even the worst NFL team versus the best college team. Get all them college players a little taste of what the pros like. Might be interesting, right?
It might. I mean, we've already seen Atlanta versus Carolina as 9-7, so I don't want to sit through that much longer. And I don't think NCAA would sign off on getting full contact hit. Micah Parsons, destroys Brock Glenn, FSU's backup quarterback, for $20,000. I wouldn't take that hit personally, but hey, money's money to some of these players.
I'd watch it. That's for sure.
I'd watch it. I'd wince a little bit at some of these hits. So these kids are taking, but I'd probably watch it. Because
Go ahead. Sorry, man. Oh, just the NHL's All-Star game. I don't know when it changed, but what they used to do is have the Stanley Cup champions play the All-Star team. Obviously, if you were an All-Star from the championship, I don't know. You couldn't do that because it comes before the week before the NFL. But I just the college players, if they had like an all-star college team that came and played like the worst team in the league or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean that could be interesting too. But again, I agree. I don't think they would sign up for that. Unless there's a good enough incentive.
Yeah. Or even you just took like this year's national champions or the first team All-American team, that list.
Yeah.
And then do it that way. I mean, I'd watch it because we're all barbarians at the end of the day. We like a little bit of violence in our football. But yeah, there's no way if I'm like, cause I'm 21, so I'd be like a third, fourth year college kid if I was on the football team. You're like, here's $20,000. Go tackle Micah Parsons. I would look at you and be like, I don't want to save my career and my scholarship. I'm gonna hold off. But thank you.
Or even maybe now hear me out. You get the fans play a game versus the worst team. Well, you have to sign a waiver and stuff. You get like a couple weeks of practice, but that'd be fun as fuck.
That whole first team is going to be in the hospital by the end of the day.
Yeah,
you sign the waiver, so you're good.
Yeah,
hey, your leg,
you from injury.
Time out. Your leg gets broke. Take that bitch up. 20K is 20K.
Hey, that hospital bill would be more. I mean, even if you did something like content creators versus like mascots, so you get like urinating tree, you get Rio, you get Chisel Adonis, you get like a lot, like some of us, you get Downtown Rams, shout out to them. You get Green Bean as like a head coach, shout out to Green Bean. Like you get like one of those. You know how like they used to do the Pee Wee football teams versus like the NFL mascots, and they would get demolished. Like something like that. Make it interesting. Make it like grasping, or it's just another passing the ball. Oh,
It's
Mac Jones. It's a walkthrough. Oh my God, it's Mac Jones grittying. My God. Like actually, if I see Brock Purdy gritty, I'm actually going to cry.
Hey, it could have cursed Mac Jones. I mean, he hadn't been the same since he grittied. Let's be real.
Hey,
That's what changed him.
you're onto something.
The gritty curse is real.
Oh man, that
Tell Justin Jefferson no more.
that's what
Yeah.
that's how Justin Jefferson got hurt. Exactly. There we go. There we go. We're all onto something here, and they will find us, and we will see the FBI. It won't be the FBI. It'll be some full-blooded Italians to take care of us. But that's besides the point.
It'll be the NFL mafia. That's
Yep.
probably a thing.
It-
Probably
oh,
an NFL hitman.
it'll be all the referees who just don't know how to play ball.
Yeah.
Actually, NFL players versus referees. Now that's a Pro Bowl game I would watch.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of referees, I want to touch on that real quick. I want to touch on Detroit and Dallas. You being the Dallas representative, what was your thought when you saw them call back that 2-point conversion?
Okay, I mean, I was gleeful. I was like, okay, so in the moment, it was a roller coaster, right? Because they had 3 attempts with that one, but let's rub that one out. Then Micah Parsons go offside, and then they have that second attempt. So,
Yep.
I mean, personally, I would have kicked it when she moved back to the 7
Yep.
and gone into overtime.
Yep.
Because I think they had the momentum on their side.
Yeah.
And so it probably would have, overtime's overtime. So it's all comes up to that coin flip. But like after the fallout and hearing what happened and everything, I mean, I think the Lions did everything that they believe they were supposed to. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the referees don't understand whether or not the referees are covering for themselves
Yeah.
or not. That's the story they're sticking to. And their biggest evidence for it is the announcement of number 70 in the arena, where someone should have said, hey, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Timeout, cancel this, or whatever. I can't remember their exact what they had for timeouts or whatnot. But what could you have done to kind of been like, well, okay, they got it wrong. This is going to result in a penalty for us, right? But I think it was really crafty, and from what I heard from the Lions' reaction and their perspective, they did everything that they were supposed to do. They just maybe got a little too cute with trying to be confusing, and it unfortunately confused the refs. But if we go back a couple plays, and my timeline's a little messed up because I had a couple bevies, but there was the Hendershot tripping call, which was actually Aiden Hutchinson trying to trip
I saw that
Hendershot.
too.
Yep.
So we could, how far, and I always say this, like with football, it's like, okay, well, how far back are we going to play this game till we're at the beginning of the game again and they need to replay? Like football is a game of opportunities taken advantage of or missed opportunities and then not capitalizing on a second chance. So I don't really have much to say except for, well, I guess I just said a lot, but to wrap it all up would be, and maybe you guys feel the same way for the Commanders, but the coin never lands in favor of the Cowboys, it feels like. So to have this was like a big shock and being like, oh wow, we're gonna win this because of a penalty. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was surprising. It's an ugly win. You don't love it, but the Giants, or sorry, the Lions, I mean, if this was against the Giants, let's say, it would have felt a lot worse. The Lions are a quality team. They were the number 2 seed.
Yeah.
And I mean, their offense is really, really, really. I really like the Lions' offense. Most of my team for fantasy football is filled with their team. So like I was watching them probably the second closest this year. So to hold them only to 20 points, I think that is something 19 points. That's something to be, happy about.
Yeah.
But still, it was too close for comfort at the end,
Right.
and I'm just glad we won.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, I was being Commanders now, but we're all like, we need Detroit to win. And I'm sitting here like, I do, but I need Dallas to win the division. So I need them to win. I need them to win also.
Oh, and then like, so that was great, but it was the day after when the Eagles lost that it was like 3 weeks ago, we were like, man, we're going to be 5th seed, and that's pretty much locked in. And then, so this is very shocking. And now to have the Cowboys in the position with their destiny in their own hands, That's like something that's not really, the Cowboys don't really get that. Usually it's like, oh, we're relying on someone else to lose or win
Right.
for us to benefit from it. So, I'll take it. But it was ugly.
Yeah, it was an interesting win because I think we could all agree these refs have been god awful the past few years. I say it started in that Rams Saints NFC Championship game where that no call where he just gets blown up out the air. For me, that's the start of like, we see you. You're playing ref ball. Yep. I mean, that's just my thing. We all, I'm sure, have our conspiracy theories and, point out, man, this is the game that sealed it. This is the game that AB got CTE because Vontaze. Oh, wait, wrong conspiracy theory. Anyways.
Yeah.
But I mean, we all have those ideas of like, this is how it happened. I've been saying for the longest is if you're someone who has been through college football for, let's say, 5 or 6 years, and you're an undrafted free agent, and you've just been through practice squad after practice squad, there should be a way for you to go into the referee program, be a younger, faster ref, whether it's in the box, sideline, chain guy. So now you're helping the game. And then you can say, hey, this is as a former player, this was a bad call, and here is why, versus these 40, 50, 60-year-old guys who have bad eyesight or can't run or tripping guys in the end zone like Lamar got tripped over that San Fran game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my thing. Will it happen? Probably not. But these are part-time employees, so it's whatever.
Look, there is, and I know that the NFL, they have committees they have to go through, but like there's technology that's available. Maybe not perfectly right now for the NFL, but could be made to be before the season starts next year, right? And I don't know what it is, if it's referee pride or not, but like same thing with kind of baseball, which I don't follow too much, but I know that they have the umpire who is a human being trying to make a call in an invisible box where the technology exists that you can literally have a computer make sure that the call's right every time.
Yeah.
And the umpire is there to be the human element when that's necessary. And I don't know if that's would translate perfectly over to football, but I think that there's some things there that they can really have to help fast track that. Maybe it's as simple as just getting a bird's nest like eye view for every game, and they're just there to help saying, hey, look at this, or whatever. But on that, like, why do you think the reffing has become so lackluster, or what seemingly is like worse than 5 years ago or whatever?
I don't know if it's just a combination of like the NFL is growing, so more money's coming their way. I don't know if it's because they are part-time employees. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like the officiating crew that did Detroit and Dallas, they were told, today's Thursday, we're recording, they told you like Tuesday, hey, you're not a team that's doing playoff refereeing.
Yeah.
Like they were demoted. So I don't know if it's, like I said, pride, money, contracts. Like I don't know what it is, but I think we can all agree there's been a slow drip decline every year of like how many roughing the passer calls are you gonna say this one? Because last year it was Grady Jarrett and Tom Brady. This year, what was the one this year that got me in such?
There's a couple.
There's been a couple, but there was one that had me in such a frenzy. I was like, I can't believe they called this. I mean, there's like one every game, it feels like, but that's just me. But outside of referee talk, because I could go all day about this topic. Justin, I'm gonna start with you, and then we'll loop right around. What is your biggest X factor going to this game, whether it's offense or defense?
Us just losing. No, I'm playing. It's more of watching the younger guys play. I think Ron, when he benched the veteran guys, he's giving the younger guys a chance to show the next coaching staff what they have. So, like your boy, what's his face? Tinsley.
Mitchell
right?
Tinsley, Penn State.
Tinsley, and all them other boys, Jabril Cox, another guy. Bench David Mayo asked, where the hell's Cox been? Not playing. He's at the bench because apparently he's not better than David Mayo.
It's where he was on the Cowboys team, benched.
No, he played on the Cowboys team for a little. He had
yeah.
I can't remember how many tackles he had, but he played specials a lot.
He who was that?
Jabril Cox, linebacker.
Gabriel Cox. Yeah, I mean, we definitely could have used him this year with our linebacker troubles, but yeah, he's no longer on the team.
Yeah.
But when Cox was playing though, he was playing when LV was out there.
Yeah.
I think even Mike was playing more linebacker as well. Now he's like heavily edge
rusher.
defensive end. Yeah, so that Jabil didn't really have as much chance as he would have had this year to be out there on the field.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Chris, you wanna tell me your X factor?
Oh damn, my X factor, same how Cook's the damn Dallas Cowgirls. Honestly.
So Howell Revenge got it.
Yeah, you're damn right. Same how Revenge.
I like that. I like that. Chris, what are you thinking? Or Andrew, excuse me. My bad. I was looking at Chris and said.
All good. I really think that this week it's going to come down to how much do our guys want to win, and how much do our guys want to lose as well. It's a combination of the two, and I think there's going to be people like Ron who are going to put all their effort into trying to win his last coaching game in the NFL. He's going to want to go out with a bang, hopefully prove himself something. But then there's also the argument that, maybe we want to lose this game. I certainly would prefer that. I know Chris doesn't.
The hell, man.
A lot of value difference between second overall, third overall, fourth overall.
Yeah.
There's so it's the value between those picks are so big that it's just not worth trying to win our last game. I mean, if we win, there's no way we get second overall. So I just can't. I would like to end the season with a W against Dallas like last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just if we want Caleb Williams, who, like you said, is the best quarterback prospect since Robert Griffin III, we're going to need to lose. Or if we win, we're going to have to give up a lot more to trade up.
Yeah. Yeah, that is definitely fair. Alex, what is your X factor, whether it's offense, defense, or even another team?
Well, I mean, offense is pretty straight up. It's number 4 to 88, and that's been our offense. That's what's been fueling everyone else. Mind you, when Cooks gets 20 yards, which isn't a lot, Cowboys are, I think, 10-0 or something like that. He's not doing a lot, but maybe just his presence out there helps open it up for more for CeeDee Lamb, or CeeDee Lamb's just that guy. I mean, take it however you want. But I
say mix of both. Honestly.
Mix of both, honestly. Yeah, I mean, we saw CeeDee Lamb last year with definitely a lower quality number 2 and 3 on the field with him. Michael Gallup having the injury, and he just has not been himself since then. So Cooks was definitely someone. I mean, we definitely higher hopes for him. But in terms of the X factor, it's going to be the defense and just takeaways, taking advantage of turnovers. I agree. I think Howell's going to come in and just ball out and say, I don't throw caution to the wind. Ball out in terms he's not going to be scared of throwing the football.
Right.
So there's a chance he's going to probably throw, say, two interceptions. I just hope that maybe Bland takes one back and adds another stamp on his historic seasons that he's had here. I think it would be seven pick sixes or 6 pick sixes, whatever.
That man will be a wonder.
Bland's been playing decently well. That would make 10 interceptions and 7 pick sixes. That's I have another one. I mean, to have 6 in one season is crazy enough, but to have 6 pick sixes in one season is outrageous. There's some guys who don't even have 5 in their whole career.
Our team has 1 combined, right?
Yeah.
It was Curl early on or something.
Yeah, it's certainly a surprise, and it's not expected to happen every season. But the fact that what I love about DaRon Bland is a lot of what he's doing out there is he's really good at guessing correctly
Yeah.
from the player's footwork or shoulders of what he's going to be doing. And he sees, like, if a guy digs his foot in to cut back, let's say, he sees that and he moves on it, even with, like, I don't know, 3-4 yards in between them. So he's got that reaction speed, and that's where all of his well, most of them. The first one of the season was a gift from Diggs when he popped the ball up and it, like, literally landed in his hands in 10 yards. But the last one he got, I believe it was against Washington,
Probably.
where he ran it back 30 or 40 yards. That was a fight, and so it's exciting. So I don't think that it's necessarily something that is just like a one-time wonder, but I mean, the chances of him getting 2 next year are low. So, like, I'll take what he's provided this year. And also, just to tag on that, which has been a benefit, is like trying to find the blue skies in a storm here. When Diggs went down, would we have even seen Bland show up?
Right.
And now we've got a problem. Like, does he stay? Does he move back to slot, or do we shift him back outside? So, I mean, look, that's not answering your question. That's just me kind of going on a rant here, but
all good. Hold on. Yeah, I think Bland honestly will have. I mean, even if he has, let's say, 4 interceptions next season, that's still, I mean, crazy talks to go from having 10 to 4 it's a step down, but 4 is still a lot. That's still good. That's incentive on incentive on incentive for a lot of players. So I wouldn't be mad at it. My X factor is just consistency and playing well early on. If you don't get points within your first 2 to 3 drives, it's not going to be a good look. Look at his last week. Could not get the ball rolling to San Fran until like our 4th or 5th drive. And then our final 3 drives, interception, end of game. Like, we put up 10. Cool. It was 13-10 against San Fran. Cool. And then they decided to take out the reins. I was like, all right, here it comes. So, like, you got to start early. I mean, look at our Philadelphia games. You start early and you kept that momentum. You lost both, but you put up 31 and 30, I think 31 and 34 respectively. Mm-hmm. No, I think it was 31 both times. But you got to start early and you got to be consistent. You can have a few 3 and outs, but not 5 consecutively. Have 2 here, 1 here, 2 here. The rest of them, you got to score or pin them deep. That's my whole thing. Yeah. I mean, even the Cowboys against like Arizona, against San Fran, is once you guys start letting up a lead, you just kept letting that line go.
Yeah, the Cowboys' slow start has been very frustrating. They've done a little bit of a better job this year compared to last year, but like, I'll go into every game. It's like we want to kick the ball so we get it back at half because we know we're going to go 3 and out on our first drive.
Yep.
And, like, that's just kind of my mentality. So, yeah, I mean, and unfortunately, I think the Cowboys are a team that can get frustrated still. They might not show it. I don't think it's a problem for a locker room, let's say, but you can frustrate Micah Parsons on the field. And you can frustrate CeeDee Lamb as well, although I think he's kind of moved past. That was like earlier this season. Now him and Dak are in such good sync. I don't know that frustration would happen. Right. It could, though. But certainly, like, Micah Parsons, if he's getting blocked and like getting hands in his face and getting held and it's not being called, you can take him out of a game. He's still going to be impactful. Yeah. But he's gonna start getting frustrated. So, like, if that happens, you guys go down, get 7, we go 3 and out, like, that could be the start of something, from the sounds of it, that we both don't want to have happen. Right. Like, hey, this is football. They're going to play to win.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I mean, we're going to have 3 and outs. It's not going to be a pretty game. I think we can all agree. It's either going to be really close for no reason, or it's going to be Thanksgiving all over again.
Yeah. Or hopefully not last season, week 18.
Chris wishes for it. I'm twisted.
Hey, but I would love a 31-34 Cowboys victory just to have a good football game, make things a little exciting. But at the end of the day, we come out with the dub, you come out with the L.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's the same thing most Commanders fans are hoping for. So
okay.
We're on the same page with you.
Yep. Excellent. I mean, pride is pride, but at the end of the day, this team going through a rebuild regardless.
Yeah.
It's not
No,
going
it's
to hold on.
Well, it was interesting what you said there, Andrew, on the value of those difference of those values of 2, 3, and 4. It's like, yeah, like let's say you had the second round pick and you didn't mind for whatever even dropping down to third. You could pick up so much value just from moving down one spot. I'm not suggesting that that's what you would want to do, obviously, but yeah, like there is a huge difference there. And then once you get out of, I guess, let's say top 8 to 12, depending the year, it becomes a little bit more closer. Those
that's exactly what we're fighting for this week. That's what's at stake, and it's a lot more than what people think. There's a lot at stake at this game. It's not just some end of the year, we're already out type game, but there's a lot on stake. It's Ron's last game. It's probably Sam Howell's last game for us.
EB's last game as OC.
Possibly, and then we're gonna be fighting for picks. It's a big deal. So it's gonna be a big game.
Yep.
Agreed. I mean, even if we go to, pick 3 or pick 4, at us in that pick 2, move up to 1, it's still going to cost probably Jonathan Allen in a second from 2 to 1. But if you go to like 3 or 4, you're possibly giving up 2 seconds and a third next year, and maybe a player.
Yeah.
It's really expensive.
Who has the number 1 spot right now? Is that like
it's Chicago? It's Chicago via the Panthers trade.
Oh, okay. Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean they could go. Go ahead.
Oh, just like that's what I was gonna ask. Like, do you think is there a consensus of what Chicago is going to do with that number 1? Are they looking to trade? No, they don't know.
There's a lot of debate about that right now. I mean, most Chicago fans want to keep Fields, but then the argument is, Caleb Williams' ceiling is like
it's higher,
much higher than Justin Fields. And Justin Fields is a good quarterback.
He's good.
But yeah, I mean, it's just they might trade Justin Fields. They might trade the pick. They might take Martin Harrison.
Yep.
So there's a lot of unknown factors.
Yeah.
So it's just hard. That makes it also hard for us to know what's going to happen. It's like, is someone going to jump us, take Caleb? Is Caleb going to fall? Are we going to have to trade up? Yeah. It's pretty complicated right now.
Well, the other big thing with that is it's the Justin versus QB. Is Justin? Yeah, he's been playing great down the stretch. Early season, he doesn't play well, and you're going to have to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
As his contract's coming up. Or if you take a rookie quarterback, you got 4 years with less than a 30 mil cap hit in those 4 years. Now you can build your team, and if all you need is a quarterback, you're good. Look at the Jets. All they really needed was Aaron Rodgers. They would have been fine. They have Zach Wilson, but they were one. Detroit looks better with Goff somehow. Like Stafford's obviously better than Goff. Super Bowl, Pro Bowler, Megatron, but they looked great with Jared Goff. Eagles needed Jalen Hurts. He looks great with them, and so on and so forth. So that's the other big thing is how much you're willing to spend. Do you want to take a 4-year 40 mil, or do you want a 4-year 140 mil?
Are you satisfied with your O-line?
No.
Like, I mean, Nate, no. Okay.
Hell no.
No.
So,
every team is eating us alive.
So one thing, like, I know there are some prospects, and Williams might be that one where it doesn't matter. You take him if you have the chance. But I always kind of cringe from watching David Carr play and him going to a team with no offensive line, and then his career. I'm not saying that he would have been a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady. I mean, but I can't help but think that his career suffered a little from just taking 7 hard years with the Texans. So what are your thoughts on that? Like, obviously it sounds like Williams is a guy you just take him and then you hope to make up some of that depth,
second round
or improve.
round.
I mean,
or even trades or what you can do there. So
I mean, this whole draft class has a really good O-line class coming out of it. I mean, you can get guys second and third round that'll be pretty good starters,
Because when I look at your weapons, I like all these guys. Like I think Dotson is better than what he's actually been playing.
Right.
But McLaren and then it's Samuel.
Of course, Samuel.
Yeah, that Samuel too, not not Debo.
Yep.
But yeah, like those are all three dudes who, for me, I would think, oh, they're gonna help a team out, right?
Right.
They can make plays. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like if that's the missing element, I mean, a motivated team can really help improve
Right.
players as well. If they're not as motivated because they're like, man, what are we doing out here?
Yeah.
That could be an issue, even if it's like more of a subconscious thing, right? You bring someone in who has the ability. I mean, look what happened with was it the Texans with Stroud? CJ Stroud?
Yeah, once he left, then Mills and Cam took over, and it was Rocky, and then he came back last week, and it was like nothing had skipped a beat.
Yep.
Yeah, so like that's what you're kind of hoping for as a guy like that, and
Yep.
but that's the risk of those high picks.
Yeah.
Is you're kind of saying we're putting a lot of eggs in this basket here,
Yeah.
but you got to.
I think the biggest one, like Washington, the spot where Carolina was last season, is you've got to trade up. You're putting all your bags if you take a quarterback here, and they've ruined Bryce Young this year.
Mhm.
Frank Reich did him no favors. Tepper did him no favors. O-line did him no favors. When Adam Thielen's your number one wide receiver, and no, he did Thielen. He's been a great wide receiver for many years, a great number two, a good vet in your locker room. I would want him if I had a bunch of young guys. But he's your number one. Are any of us sitting here saying Brandon Cooks is a number one wide receiver? Not really. No, not really. Are any of us sitting here saying Sterling Shepard is a number one wide receiver? Or Nico Collins is a number one? Nico's playing like a number one wide receiver for Houston. Let me take that
He's
one
playing
back.
like it,
Right.
He's playing like it. But no one's sitting here saying, man, this 34-year-old wide receiver is the best thing in NFL. No. Jay Jettas, number one. CeeDee Lamb, number one. AJ Brown, damn sure number one. Like, no one's sitting here saying Traylon Burks is the next guy. No. He's pretty bad. Yeah. If somehow we lose this or we win this game, and we'll get into score predictions here in a minute, and we fall to 3 or 4, I'm taking offensive line. I'm taking Alt for Shanu. I trade back, give me a Tyrese Fuaga. If I'm at 2 or 1, it's quarterback or really nothing at that rate. That's my whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's ever a chance. The only thing that you might do is wait and see what offers come in, and if there's anything incredibly just a gift, but like I think you hear offers, but otherwise it's like, no, we're gonna pick this guy, and if you don't give us what we want, then this is who we're taking.
Right. Andrew,
and
Justin.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
No, just like, and if I mean a career quarterback, or what do they call them? Franchise QB. I mean, you cannot pass on that,
right,
if you believe that he's the guy.
Yep. Andrew, Justin, y'all want to get in on this?
Justin?
Yeah, man. I do think when we have to go, Joe Alt is my number one prospect for Apple. But if we do lose, we need to trade up with Chicago, give him Jonathan Allen, maybe a third, take our boy Caleb Williams. I mean, we have so much age, right? We could literally upgrade the whole entire defense in the free agency and upgrade offense in the draft.
That's sort of what I'm on the same page with. That's cool.
I mean, you could sit there and sign a lineman, like Dalton Reisner to be your left guard, or a Dallas Schultz as tight end, or Mike Kozeski, but other than that, maybe T. Higgins. I mean, hell, we need another receiver.
Yeah.
Dotson and him. I don't think Dotson, he had a down year. I don't think to me, at best, he's a slot receiver. At best. I don't see much potential in him. He's not running his routes like he used to. He's just running meh. He can't catch the ball. He reminds me of Donami Brown at times. Wide open, running the slant. Oh, right through the hands. Next play. My bad.
I have such a hard time with that from what we saw his rookie season. I mean, I think that his change was just because he's not fitting in with EB's scheme at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's dropping passes. He's definitely having an off year. I'm not saying he's not. But we still saw so much talent that first year, like those hands, the route running, like everything put together. And this year, he's still getting open, like a lot.
Yeah.
Sam isn't seeing him. He's not
Nope.
getting the ball. EB's not wanting him to get the ball. It's not part of the
package
progressions. Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know what to think about him. I still think he's really good, but I'm just hoping he comes back to his rookie year self.
Yeah.
And if he does, I don't think we'll need another receiver. If he doesn't, yeah, we'll probably need a T. Higgins or someone like that. But
I mean, at
Yeah.
best, he's number 2 at best. But when's the last time you had a dog? I mean, Terry's pretty good route runner, but Terry and the dog at, one jump balls half the time.
Right.
Because we need a taller receiver. That's what I'm saying. Bottom, a physical receiver. Yeah, Terry. Yeah, he's
Terry's
physical, but he's not 6'3", 6'4".
Right.
Snag, that's mine. Nasty kind of receiver.
Yeah.
and that's why you like Keon Coleman a lot. So totally understand that.
Well, yeah, and I'm Florida State fan.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I could get into this EB scheme and wide receivers dropping balls and tight ends first and right, like we've all had the conversation in the Washington community, and we'll say it in the offseason. But let's start wrapping things up. Let's get into our score. Okay.
Speaking real quick, there's some rumor that Falcons move on from their head coach. EB will be one of their top candidates.
Yep.
This came from the rumor mill today. And
Honestly?
it sounds like EB might be out the door. I think new ownership is going to fire everybody and just say, fuck you. You didn't do a good job. Bye.
I'll touch on this real quick. I think EB honestly has better weapons at a running back and tight end in Atlanta. Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson. For his scheme, that's a tight end and running back first, and then receiver second. Drake London is the wide receiver 1. So there's that right there. Set up perfectly for his offenses. Your tight end screens, your running back in the backfield. They still have Algier. They still have Cordell Patterson. My thought.
Yeah.
I think EB would thrive with the Falcons. I mean,
And
he might need real quick. He might need a quarterback. I don't think Ritter has a strong arm.
No.
I mean,
Bo Nix to Atlanta. He gets a nice, tall, strong arm quarterback who can move a little bit. Yeah, and
I thought Bo Nix was on the smaller side.
he's like 6'2", I think.
Oh, taller than I thought.
I could be wrong. I'll put that in the edit. But let's get into these score predictions.
John, can I ask a quick question if we have the time?
Absolutely.
I just want to know, first of all, let me get my third one here. Look, I'm taking a day off tomorrow. Okay. So for you guys, like what are because you've mentioned a lot of things in this conversation about like potential changes, but like, what would be, you could say just the number 1 or top 3 if you have them, but the biggest off-season moves that you want to see. I mean, let's say we're all assuming you're going to draft Williams. What are some other moves that you want to see for the Commanders in the offseason?
Go ahead, John.
I'll start doing this. I think you clear house. I think general manager goes, assistant GMs goes, training staff's got to go, front office has got to go, head coach, offensive, defense. Everybody's got. I think they keep Jason Wright, our team president, because they want a bridge of guys who's familiar. He's done a good job. Yes, he's that president who goes on fan podcasts and talks to the media, but that's kind of his thing, is PR. And I think as a PR president, he's done what he can do, and B, what he's been given. He's made it work. So I give him nothing but credit. Love the man. I think he's a very smart, intelligent man. So I give him credit. Yeah, you got to clear house. I think you have to do a roster clean too. Nick Gates has got to go. Shadiq Charles has got to go. Wiley and Leno have to go. Logan Thomas, you can trade. Defense, David Mayo, and guys like that, you've got to go. I think you move on from Jonathan Allen a little bit. I think you could trade him. You could if you trade Jonathan Allen and a fourth, you get a second round pick, no problem. You can finesse it, get a late first, maybe out of Buffalo because they could use some D tackle, rearrangement, especially with Von Miller being so back and forth. Doing that, I think secondary, you got to rebuild the secondary. Got to build this is going to be a true rebuild the next 3 years. I think you had to have the perfect marriage of head coach and GM. And Lake Lewis Jr., shout out to Mr. Lewis. We love having him on. He had a perfect tweet. Look at Houston and look at Detroit. Or Houston and Indianapolis, excuse me. GM and head coach were in sync. They got a perfect quarterback for both those systems, and then they built around that. Richardson got hurt early, and that's my Florida boy. But AR was playing beautiful football, a little handsy. But even with Gardner Minshew, playing competitive football. So for I just said a lot right there, so I'll condense it. You clear house in management. You clean house of any, I guess, Ron hires, or they played bad, and now you got to create that perfect marriage. Yeah, Andrew, Justin, you want to touch on that real quick?
I'll give 3 quick points. Clear house, absolutely necessary with the new ownership and total rebuild year. Caleb Williams, number 2. And I'm going to say aggressive free agency. That's sort of general, but that's something we really have not gotten under Ron at all.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping new head coach and coaches and ownership are just going to go out there. Hey, we have $90 million. We're just going to throw it out there, get every position we need, get players, get really good players. I want to see Josh Allen, defensive end. I want to see Brian Burns.
Yep.
I want to see
Jalen Johnson.
Jalen Johnson, thank you. Totally use that for our defense and then mostly address offense in the draft, I think. But yeah, so clean house, Caleb Williams, aggressive free agency is my 3.
Nice. Justin?
It literally took my points. I mean, house has to be cleared. I mean, by the time you clear the house, you're looking at 110 mil roughly.
Yeah.
Thomas cuts almost 7 million, all that. Trading Jonathan Allen, getting him out of here for something.
Yeah.
Then after that, you just have to hit the free agency hard. You have to sit there. Linebacker, we best be landing a top fucking tier linebacker.
Please.
Like a Patrick Queen. Somebody
Please.
like that. Devin White. Hell, I'd land
Allen.
both. Josh Allen. I'd land Devin White, Patrick Queen in a 3-4 defense. Hell, I want to move to a 3-4 defense. I think those outside linebackers give you speed and more of a pass rush instead of defensive ends. That's my thing. I'd do DC. Go ahead and move that 3-4. Payne was a hell of a nose tackle back in Bama. You could sit there, sign like Dalton Reisner, left guard. Boom, there's one of your O-line spots. Dallas Schultz, Mike Zaski. There you go. There's a tight end, right? Now after that, we just got to get a, O-line in second, third round. But yeah. And Caleb Williams. So Jonathan Allen, right? Like you sit there, Jonathan Allen, pick number 2 and a third round pick for pick number 1 should be fair.
And I genuinely believe that we can get someone better than him in the 3rd round. Texas DT.
Oh yeah, he's a hell of a guy. I've some mocks have him going 2nd round, some mocks have him going 3rd.
Yep.
But we won't know until draft night, of course. But there's plenty of free agent D tackles that like Tim Settle. Hell, I'd take Tim Settle. That dude plays pretty damn good.
He's older though, right?
No, he's like 27.
Okay.
He isn't that old.
I mean, older.
Florida State, I can't remember his name. Derek Nazo or something.
Yep.
Nedski, whatever.
Oh,
another solid guy.
Derek Noddy.
Yeah, he's another solid guy. He's a cheap veteran. You don't have to go high end D tackles. You can sit there and get a couple veteran guys who do the job just well. You don't got to pay D tackle 15+ mil, especially 2 of them. Yeah, Payne, you can get 10, 11 mil a year, but I can't afford to pay two of you.
Fair.
Alex, I'm wondering what you think the 3 things you would need, the Cowboys would need to do in order to keep what they have or improve it even a little. But
Yeah,
instead of rebuilding, keeping that sort of.
I like that.
exactly. So I think the biggest thing, we need to restructure Dak Prescott's contract, free up some more cap space so that we can be a little more aggressive in free agency. Although,
Yep.
look, you guys have new ownership. They might be out to try to say we want to put a stamp on this team, and they'll be aggressive. We know Jerry Jones. You guys know Jerry Jones as well as me.
Yep.
He's not going to spend a dime more than he has to, and so that's a pipe dream that the Cowboys will be aggressive in free agency. But if we are, I hope we go up against you to try to find that linebacker, and also if it's available, building up our O-line through free agency. I'm not against drafting an O-lineman. Like I said,
Right.
that's why personally I would think I want to go first. But specialty players mean so much to teams that, like, if you can find that O-line depth or help or starter in free agency and pay for them, I thought that's where the money would go. And a third thing, I don't know how much. This might be controversial for some Cowboys fans, but like retaining Dan Quinn and making sure he's satisfied as being a defensive coordinator for a couple more years.
All right.
I think it's in the benefit of the Cowboys because Dan Quinn did have his run as a coach, and I think he's really happy with the team. Like, could you not be like unbiased? And I know you guys are. Like, who wouldn't be happy with the Dallas Cowboys defense,
Right.
at least with the skill position players that they have available? Like that's incentive to stay. So I don't know that that's going to be as hard, but he could get an offer somewhere, and Jerry's just got to make sure that he, gives him the money to make him stay, because he's in a position now where he's half head coach. He's owning that half of the defense. No one's messing with his decision-making process. At least that's what it seems like. So I think he's happy there. And he also doesn't have that additional like anxiety of, okay, now I have to look after the offense too, or at least find someone to do that for me.
Yep.
So those are the 3 things. Yeah. Sign Dak, try to be aggressive, and make sure Dan Quinn's happy and sticks around.
I mean, when you have a player like Micah Parsons saying, wherever Dan Quinn goes, I goes, that's just sign off on saying, this is the coordinator you want in your franchise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, just pay Micah what he needs to stay, because we don't want to lose Dan Quinn as well.
Yeah. I mean, he'll obviously get, opportunities and, phone calls and offers. I think he's just happy in Dallas, honestly. The way you see, like, I don't watch a lot of conferences and a lot of press conferences and interviews, but the way he seems happy in Dallas. He's like, I got an all-pro or Pro Bowler at almost every single position. And Lane Van Der Esch was a former one, and he's always been, back and forth. But you have DeMarcus Lawrence, you have Micah, you just drafted Mozzie Smith last year, who was an iffy pick, but I think he's slowly coming around for you guys.
We'll see. Yeah,
we'll see. You drafted that linebacker. Who did
Overshown?
Thank you, DeMarvin
Overshown
out of Texas, and I was so pissed when y'all took him. I was like, this motherfucker right here, because we wanted him.
Oh yeah,
he was so exciting, and then the injury happened, so we have to wait. But outside of him, last year's draft was at this point in the season, or in this point rolling out, it's an F, man. We did not have a very good draft last season. I guess one more amendment, if I could add, would be I hope the Cowboys draft for the upcoming season. So they draft for the year, not drafting for the future, because we don't have this time with the players that we have.
No.
Like, eventually those contracts are all going to catch up, and suddenly you can't afford one or two of those guys. So
yeah, because I think Dak, excuse me, I think Dak only has until like 2025 until that contract expires.
I mean, Dak's not a concern, because he'll keep re-signing. They'll keep kicking that big money down the road until somehow it doesn't matter, and Dak still ends up being at $250 million.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know how they do it. But if he doesn't, then we have this $60 bill that we have to pay this guy, eating
Yeah.
up way too much of our cap. Like that's too much for any team.
Okay, it's crazy. Yeah, I think 2025 is your biggest cap hit at like 55, like or like you said 60. I think it's the farthest you have to take because
Right,
I
right,
I looked at it earlier because my dad's a Cowboys fan. My house is the whole NFC. It gets crazy. But I was looking at it, I was like, most of his base salary is only 5 to 6. It's a $20 million signing bonus most years, and then it's the rest of it's like a cap hit in like 2025. I'm like, that's a Jerry Jones contract
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, and just I don't know how they do it, but just keep doing it. Kick the can down the road as long as we can sign everyone else. Because
Yep.
I mean, I said it this year that this was the Cowboys had one more year. They might have another year now, and I'm just gonna keep making that keep that in my mind. Like every year, it's like this is the year. Otherwise, it's over. And then you gotta do what the Commanders are doing, and that's always exciting too, man. It's exciting when you go into this type of stage because there's so much potential for what the team can do. You're going to shed some like leaves that are ready to, be shaken.
Yeah.
I could, and Cowboys and Washington never have really like, we're in the same division, of course, but we don't have bad blood.
Right.
So like, after this conversation, it was really good because I'll be watching what the Commanders do. I'm more interested now in seeing how that plays out because it seems like it's like a true rebuild. Like when you start Madden and you're like, I'm cutting everyone, I'm getting my players on. This kind of feels like what it is. So that's fun.
It's to me roughly like I said, new ownership, it's gonna be a whole new management staff. Might be a new stadium the next few years. It's gonna be nuts.
Yeah.
It's gonna be ridiculous. But let's start wrapping things up. We do here on BIB, everyone who watches us knows to do it. And before we even head into this, remember to like, subscribe here on the channel. Head over to Cowboys Can Fan Podcast, wherever you get your podcast, Instagram, YouTube, the whole night. Go follow over them. They got heat content for this past what they've been doing and what they'll continue to be doing. Go follow them. They've been nothing but kind to us, and vice versa, hopefully. And we're gonna keep supporting it. But let's get into the score predictions. Chris earlier, because he had to leave, he had to obviously go to bed because that man is the youngest out of all of us. So I do not blame him for getting that. But he says Washington Redskins win on Sunday 24-20. So he is gracious enough to give us his optimism through text and through spirit. Alex, I want to start with you. What is your score prediction on Sunday?
I'm thinking 37-21. I think the Cowboys offense has a bounce back from what they were doing. Now, remember, CeeDee Lamb almost had a second touchdown in that game. He fumbled it out the end zone, which whether you love that rule or not, there's got to be a consequence for that. But regardless, that's in the book. So I think the Cowboys have been just missing opportunities to score. I feel like if Washington's coming in to test some players, that we're not going to really run into the issues that we have with other teams. I don't love that because I want to end the season strongly, right? But I do think that the Commanders either will have a strong start or a strong finish and able to get say 10 to 14 points within those sections. So either like the first, say, 10 minutes of the game or the last 10 minutes of the game. I think they'll put points on the board. But otherwise, I do think the Cowboys are going to find their mojo and do what they do.
Yep, fair enough. Yep, yeah, that's about right. Justin, what are you thinking, my friend?
I'm thinking we're tanking. we gone, fellas. I'm thinking it's going to be a 30 to 13 game. I think Cowboys are going to just beat us in the stands, beat us on the field. Because they're going to try to win. It's not like we're going to sit here and play our starters. So I think they're just going to stomp all over us. I think Terry's going to get 1K, and Sam Howell might fall short to his 4K for the year. But yeah.
Fair enough. Andrew, what are you thinking?
I agree. I think we're tanking, and I'm rooting for it as well. I'm going to go Cowboys win 35-28. I think our offense is going to have a big bounce back this week. They're going to show what we've been lacking the last bunch of weeks, or you may even say this whole season. And Sam Howell's going to want his revenge. It's going to be a close game, much like week 18 of last season, exact same scenario. But Cowboys will still come out with a dub, and I think they're going to secure the NFC East, continuing the pattern of a different NFC East winner for the last how many years?
Like 26.
Yeah, something crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, I'll put this out there right now. I do think Dallas is winning. I do believe we're tanking. I think we're gonna lose. It's not gonna be a fun day at the office. I'll put it plainly. It will not be a fun day at the office. I have a youth group on Sunday at 2 to 4, so I'm gonna go from being happy to wanting a drink. I'm gonna want
You better
some.
be praying. You better be praying to Jesus.
Oh,
Help me, Jesus.
help
We
me.
losing.
What are you praying for? The win or the loss?
Exactly. My blood pressure is already high enough. Don't make this higher than it needs to be. So in that aspect, I do think Dallas will win. I don't have a score, but at that point, but as the co-host and a Commanders fan with pride, whatever pride I have left, I'm going to stick to Chris's guns. I'm gonna use his Glock, as Arn Anderson would say, and I will pull for Washington in this aspect. I actually think it'll be a higher scoring game than I think most of us will expect, or if we do expect it, we'll be like, hey, let's ride it all along. I'm going to go 28-27. I think it's going to be a last second kind of win. For whatever reason, Joey Sly can hit these 40, 50-yard bombers like that. Extra points, never heard of them.
Never.
So it'll be like a 45-yard field goal with 2 seconds left. He's going to kick it, and we're all going to be like, you had one job. Was to miss this shit. What we should do is we should sign Cody Parkey tomorrow or on Saturday when this comes out. Or it should come out on Friday, but it comes out for Saturday for whatever reason. You sign Cody Parkey. You haven't missed the last second field goal because you can cut him right there. He gets his check regardless, and we are on a happy way. But last second field goal is my prediction. But Chris said 24-20. Justin said 30-13 Dallas. Andrew said 35-28 Dallas. Alex said 37-21. So the second biggest deficit there, and I said 28-27 Washington. Like I said, I do think Dallas will win, but with whatever pride I seem to have left in this big noggin of mine, I will pull for Washington. But yeah, that will wrap things up. Alex, can't thank you never coming on representing Cowboys fan. I wish the guys had come, but it was a pleasure meeting you, and I will 100% have you back on again.
No, I appreciate it, man, and thanks so much. Sorry, the other guys, work gets in the way, and it's that first week of the year.
Absolutely.
I do freelancing, so I'm at home anyways.
There you go.
But we do a draft show, and we stream the whole draft. So I'd love to have you guys come on, post Washington's pick to kind of get your thoughts of what just happened. And so I'll reach out and we can set that up if you guys are interested.
Oh, absolutely. Bessie, I love working with other people. I tried doing it through a season. Try during the offseason. I can't speak English worth a damn. It's late, but would love for it to come on, and like I said, work happens. Chris had to leave. Justin works. I'm in school. Andrew's in school. So 100% understandable. It happens. It's life.
That's life.
It's life. But so wrap things up, guys. Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe here on BIB. Head over to Instagram, Twitter, and our X or Twitter account. Go follow us all over there. We got some content coming for you guys. I just posted Andrew's mock draft both on Twitter and on Facebook, and the Facebook decided to blow up with like 100 different comments of like, why'd you take this? I agree with this because like I was in there defending Andrew, defending the. It was
I didn't
wild.
even hear you fuss on this, and it blew up. I gotta take a look at this afterwards.
Yeah. If you guys follow us on our Facebook group and it's down in the description, I should put this up here with us. That was going off. But go follow us over there to do what you guys gotta do. Like I said, don't forget to support Cowboys Fan Podcast, Instagram, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Music. the whole 9, and then go follow all of them individually. All their links will be down in the description, as well as tagged on Instagram. So go follow over there. Like I said, Alex, can't thank you enough for coming on once again.
Thank you guys so much. This was a lot of fun. This is the most peaceful conversation I think I've had with an in-division team. So hey, much respect and much love, guys.
Hey, nothing but love. I try to keep it peaceful. Chris likes to have a little bit of energy, but I wish I had his energy. I wish I did.
Yeah.
I don't have it anymore.
Hey, I'm just saying, if Anth was on here, him and Chris probably would have taken the show to another place. But
Hey.
You're luckily you got me. I'm maybe the biggest softy of it. So
Hey, honestly, not you say that, and I want to see this now. Next time.
I know. Me
I
too.
need to see
Next
this.
time, next time.
Next time, I need to
I'm
see
making
this.
that happen.
We're
Maybe
making
we
this
do it.
happen.
Maybe we do an NFC East mock draft. Get the Philly fan and a
Ooh.
Giant
Oh.
fan.
Oh,
There we go.
oh. I mean
That'd be
that.
awesome.
I mean that'd be great. I mean that'd be 10 people in this thing, but hey, I would not complain. That'd be a full house. No Olsen twins. That's besides the point. Although that was a great show, but we're getting off topic. Like I said, subscribe, go follow BIB, go follow Alex and Cowboys Campaign Podcast. Sunday, it's going to be interesting. 425 FedEx Field, probably on Fox, because they love to put it on Fox and screw me from seeing the game. It is what it is. But handle those Commanders, or how about them boys in Alex's case? And don't forget to stay ballin'. We'll see y'all out there.